Hey guys, welcome out to another exciting top 5. We are pretty stoked about this one because for those that are watching this, I guarantee you already have a very distinct opinion, but what we are doing is top 5 mini games.
That's right, and we're kind of, Square and Enix fanboys, so that has an influence on our decisions, but they're fun.
So, now on to the list.
Our first honorable mention comes from Final Fantasy IX. It is a chocobo game called Hot and Cold, which includes the song Viva la Flamenco.
Flamenco.
That's how I say things. Yeah, no, in Final Fantasy World, I say things.
Ding, 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 ding.
Great song. I love it in this game, and it's a really fun mini game. You get to collect a ton of items that help you out through the game, help you explore new areas, get new items, and also you can exchange point values for other items as well. It's a lot of fun.
And what's neat about it too is as you're playing the game, there are certain kind of upgrades that you get as you're playing. So find 5 items and all of a sudden Mog runs out and he says, all right, I'm gonna give you a new challenge. And so it's really nice that way that when you're playing it, it kind of amps up the anxiety level.
Yep.
As you're searching.
That timer going down, down, down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time.
So really great, definitely deserves a mention honorably.
Number 5.
Number 5 on our list comes from Chrono Trigger, and I bet the first thing that pops in your head is the Millennium Fair games. But why?
Well, the Millennium Fair games are fun, but a lot of them are just straight kind of decision games, like push this, do this. You know, the fight's really kind of simple with Gato, and though the drinking game is fun, and really the top choice from Chrono Trigger as a game is the racing sequence that takes place. So you have to race against Johnny.
Who's the man?
He is
so
the man,
bad.
Who is a cockroach on wheels with a mohawk and shades.
What was really fun about this too is this mini game had its own music, which was Johnny's theme, and the racing theme. Mm-hmm. 2 separate themes that were designed just for this, minuscule part in this game.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics were absolutely amazing. The gameplay was a lot of fun. It kind of had this rubber band motion, as you're kind of going back and forth of who's in front, who's not.
And your racer kind of reminded me of some of the cars from another famous racing game.
Yep, definitely. F-Zero influence, and then you can also kind of see the background. Also, for some reason, reminded me of UN Squadron a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe just the background levels.
I can see the music. I can see the music too, reminding you a little bit of wop 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 wop. Anyway,
it was a fun game. You saw the how much farther you had trickling down, and you had to use your turbos at the right moments just to win. Otherwise, Johnny would come up ahead.
And what was cool is that as you can play, you can choose between different modes. Mode 1 is basic mode you start out with. Mode 2 you can actually adjust the perspective, and you can increase your swag.
That's right. And also, if you beat Johnny, he gives you a key to his bike, so you can use it anytime you want. Otherwise, you have to walk through the entire path and fight all the monsters. Super
pain in the butt. So a worthwhile integrated mini game that had a little more excitement than some of the other stuff. So that's why it makes it onto the list.
Number 4.
Number 4 on our list, though it is a little more low-key, is frankly one of my highlights for Final Fantasy VIII, which is the card game. Why is it that all these mini games have like the most catchy themes ever that you can't you know what, if there's one thing in common with everything that we have on this list is that you cannot get that song out of your head because it's like you're grinding away on a grinding video game, and then you're grinding away on this mini game. But Triple Triad was the name of the mini game that we're talking about here on Final Fantasy VIII. Really, I think one of the highlights of the game. A pretty unique way that it integrates the different game characters and turns them into cards and gives them attributes, and you can kind of see how it, you line up one card next to another card, and if the number beats theirs, you have a trump card.
And if you take over one of theirs, it takes over the one next to it too.
Mm-hmm. But you got some pretty cool stuff from playing Triple Triad in terms of weapon upgrades and magic upgrades, and like it actually wasn't just a completely superfluous mini game in Final Fantasy VIII. You could actually really lose out on some good stuff if you sucked at this game, because people would take your cards if you lost. So there's actually something at stake from it, rather than just, oh, you blew a credit, like try another one. Like I remembered resetting my PlayStation if I screwed up.
Oh, definitely.
On a triple triad game.
I also loved about this how you could play cards with just about anybody in the game. If you could talk to them, you click that button, and then you all of a sudden oh man!
And everybody clapped. It's like this little clap you have in the background, but like I swear, like every time I'm like.
Number 3.
Number 3 comes on our list. It's from Star Ocean 2: The Second Story. It's the fun city. It's got a lot of great things, similar to a lot of the things on our number 1 list. There's a Coliseum that you can battle in to get great items, great drops. But the thing that I want to focus on most in this game is the Iron Chef that you can do. You can become Master Chef. They literally took the show and completely copied it, where you have a secret ingredient you had to cook, and you had to cook a certain time, you had to cook all these different items. And I remember that game is what initially got me into watching Iron Chef, or finding a way to watch it. Because I remember somebody was like, yeah, that's from Iron Chef, and I was like, what's Iron Chef? And so then I watched the show, and I remember you and I would watch it in the middle of the night sometimes and become our own Iron Chefs.
I had the music from Backdraft. Like, how could you not love it?
Yeah, no kidding. And then the peppers and everything like that. But the thing is the cooking in this game was addicting alone, because you could get a lot of extra things for your guys, power-ups, and great things. And you could sell them for so much money if your cooking ability was up so high. And so then you can earn the title of Master Chef. Anyways, it was a great thing. The music in this game was so good. But I remember going back and back and back to this game simply just to play this one section in this one game. Amazing.
Number 2.
This one comes from Final Fantasy X. And the game we're talking about is Blitzball. Totally awesome. Once again, a soundtrack that I hear in my haunting my dreams. What was so cool about Blitzball is that like it was a key part of the intro of the game, and you're like, oh man, that looks like a really cool game. Like you're watching it and you're hearing this hard and you're like seeing the Blitzball being played, and you're like, how awesome is that? It's like Quidditch on crack. And so you're like, oh, well, that's pretty cool for the intro. Well, you get to play it throughout the game, develop your team. There's different, it's kind of, you get your turn-based strategy going on, but you are swimming around and you're trying to constantly swim around somebody you're trying to evade so you can get the ball in the goal. I don't see how they can hold their breath for that long, but
It's a specialty. It's special water. It's like the embryo, the amniotic fluid, or whatever you can breathe it in.
Like the abyss.
Exactly. Ed Harris.
Love you, wife.
What was great about this game specifically is it was its own little sports simulator within the game. As he was saying, you can draft players and get players with special abilities, special throws, or great defensive qualities. And the scope of the entire field was huge too. So it wasn't like, it's going to take me 1 second to get from one end to the other and throw the ball in. You had to work on it, and you had to have strategy between you and your teammates, and keep in mind who you were playing. But man, how many hours did we put in this thing?
Way too many. I don't know why it was like our thing was to like just destroy Blitzball, like to have the ultimate Blitzball team.
It was ridiculous.
It was our Madden.
That's right.
That's so sad.
Number 1.
All right, if you guys haven't already guessed it, number 1 on our list from Final Fantasy 7 is the Golden Saucer.
And we couldn't just choose one of the mini games from this because it wouldn't be fair to the rest of the other games.
Because literally, this is our favorite group of mini games, and it would dominate the entire list.
That's right.
So we decided to wrap them all up into one and give them to you as number one. Now, my personal favorite, what's cool about this is there are so many freaking mini games, and it's integrated within the story.
Go on a date.
Yeah, you go on the date. I mean, but my personal favorite is probably like the least useful of all of them, which is the snowboard minigame. I was a big SSX fan, especially in the earlier iterations of SSX. I really loved the way that they programmed that game, and I loved the snowboarding minigame.
Kind of reminded me though of our earlier review of Cliffhanger in the Sega CD when you're snowboarding down the mountain.
If you love the movie, don't play the game. That's all you can say about it.
Totally random. That's such a random moment.
But you can't forget Stallone's ripped shirt. His muscles around it, whatever. No, I agree. The music was absolutely amazing. Had a little Chocobo rendition for the minigame. Tons of fun.
But that's not your favorite.
No, I would have to say my favorite would be the submarine mission. You have actual sonar, you have to detect different things, you're attacking all the different subs. It was just a lot of fun. I remember it was just like, I turn all the lights off, so I could pretend like I was actually in the submarine.
Well, I mean, I think other notables inside of this thing is the Chocobo Racing.
Chocobo Racing, which actually has total usefulness in the game. We get the Golden Chocobo to get
our favorite summon,
King Arthur, Knights of the Round. Which is on one of our previous
bunch of rocks.
lists.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, because you guys haven't seen Final Fantasy Summons, our top 5 Final Fantasy Summons, why don't you go check that out. This is kind of the key component into getting our favorite of the top 5.
I also have to talk about the fact is that you had your Coliseum battles in that, the battle arena. Total fun. I mean, I remember getting there and I'm like, I'm just gonna go there and get Omnislash ready to go and then just take it to town. That was tons of fun. You get great items from that. Great items, great abilities. The whole thing. I remember working so hard to get the gold card so I can come in and out whenever I wanted to, because you went that often.
It's like, it reminds me of Neverending Story when he's eating the peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he's like, no, not too much. There's still a long way to go.
No, not too much. We still have a long way to go.
You had to ration yourself from the Golden Saucer. We love to hear what we missed, because you guys, I know, have an opinion about this.
I do have something to tell you, though.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of disappointing because you are kind of a Crackberry fan.
Yes.
But the iPhone has a downloadable snowboarding game for Pong C7. Just wanted to let you know that.
Damn you, AT&T! Damn you!
Yes.